Okay, so welcome back to another episode of When Streaming Goes Wrong. If you were tuned in, we're on number 8, and the equipment decided to take a break, I guess. But I'm sorry, we're going to adapt and overcome. So we were on number 8. I feel like 1 through 8 or 1 through 7. You can always go back and watch the live stream recording. But we can just pick it up from 8. We have, so negative u to the 0 power. That's just going to be 1. Anything to the negative or anything to the 0 power is going to be 1. It doesn't change the negative. So this is still negative 1. And then v squared to the negative 5 power. So the 5 is going to apply to everything here. So this is going to be negative 1 to the negative 5th power, and then v to the negative 10 times negative u to the negative 5th power. So negative 1 right to the negative 5 power. So we know that the negative power is going to push the negative 1 into the denominator. Well, dealing with 1 or negative 1 rather, it's actually easier than that. So whether you have 1 or 1 over 1, at the end of the day, it's still 1. So I'm not too much worried about the over 1 part or pushing it to the denominator. What this is actually saying is negative 1 times negative 1 5 times. So the trick is that if this exponent is odd, which it is, the outcome is the result is going to be a negative 1. Right? It had this been like, say, negative 1 to the 6th power, an even number, well, then the answer would be positive. In this case, because it's odd, it's going to be negative. So negative 1, v to the negative 10 times negative u to the negative 5. All right, so negative and a negative is a positive. So pretty much cancels each other out. So positive and the v and the u both have negative exponents, so they're going to be in the bottom of a denominator. So v to the 10th power and u to the 5th power. So 1 over both of those. All right, number 9. First thing I see is that this is to the 0 power. So this is going to be 1. So basically it's going to go away. This square, it can apply to everything in the parentheses. So u negative 6, because 2 times 3. V to the 4th power times negative u to the 4th. Okay. So negative, right? Because there's one negative term. So negative u, we're going to add the exponents. Negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2. V to the 4th. All right, there's only one term with the negative exponents, the u. So we're going to have negative v to the 4th in the numerator over u squared. All right, so you're going to see like a common theme here. The idea is that we don't want negative exponents, and we only want a single variable. We don't want multiple of the same variable. So number 10, we're halfway through. The negative 2 is going to apply to both of these. So y to the 5th times x to the negative 3 times x to the positive 6, y to the negative 8. All right, combining like terms. So multiplying common bases, we're adding the exponents. So we'll do x's first. So x times x will give us, so -3 plus 6. So this is +3. Y is going to be 5 minus 8, or 5 plus -8, which is -3. So we're going to have x cubed in the numerator over y cubed. It's not bad. All right, number 11. Okay, so these do get progressively harder or more difficult. So anything to the 0 power is just going to be 1. So it doesn't matter what's in there. That's a 1. Since this exponent is negative, I'm going to flip the fraction. So negative x squared, y squared over y, x to the 4th. And then because we flipped it, the negative goes away, so +4. And now I can apply the 4 to everything in the numerator and everything in the denominator. So there's a negative here. So really that's going to be -1 to the 4th power, right? 4 is odd. No, 4 is even. 4 is even, so it's going to be a positive number. So the negative is going to go away essentially. So we're going to get x. 2 times 4 is 8. Y. 2 times 4 is 8. Over y to the 4th. X to the 16th, because 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, so we're going to combine the common bases, right? Top minus bottom. It's always top minus bottom. So this is going to be x 8 minus 16, y 8 minus 4. And this is going to equal, so 8 minus 16 is -8. So x -8, and then y to the 4th. Final answer is going to be y to the 4th over x to the 8th, right? Any negative exponent will go to the bottom. Now, we could probably, like once you start getting nice at this, you can actually skip this step, but since we're just starting out, we don't want to skip any steps. Start skipping steps and it leaves room for error. I mean, unless you're like, nice. So number 12. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So that is by far my favorite property. So these basically just go away, right? Ones can be invisible all day. This -4 exponent that's outside the parentheses will flip the parentheses part. So the fraction will flip and the negative will go away. Similar to the last problem. So we have negative x to the -1, y squared. So when you flip it, sometimes I guess a common mistake would be to change this negative right here. So don't change this negative. This negative stays negative in the flipping part. It'll turn here in a minute. So in the denominator, we're going to have y squared times y to the 4th. Oh, that's nice. Okay, and this is all to the 4th power, right? +4, because we use the reciprocal. We flip the fraction to get rid of the negative, to get rid of that negative. All right, I'm going to apply the 4 to everything inside the parentheses. So again, that negative will be to the 4th power, right? -1 to the 4th power. Again, even number. So the negative sign is going to go away, which is nice. So this is going to be x to the -4, because 4 times 1. Y is going to be, okay, so technically, we could probably simplify this, like the y situation right now. I feel like that'll be better. So in the bottom, the denominator, we have y squared times y to the 4th. So we're going to add this. This is going to be y to the 6th. Right? These are going to cancel, or not cancel, but combine to make y to the 6th. We have y to the 6th in the denominator. Y squared is in the numerator, so 2 minus 6, right? Y2 minus 6, which is basically negative 4. This is going to be negative 4. In the numerator, right? In the numerator. Now I'm going to apply the 4 to it. So 4 times 4 is 16. So this should be negative 16. Which final answer will be 1 over x to the 4th, y to the 16th. Yeah, so that one got kind of tricky. Halfway through, I decided there were a bunch of y's everywhere, so we can simplify the y's. I mean, did we have to? No, we probably could have just kept on, but we would have ended up with big numbers. We would have ended up with like y to the 8th on top times y to the 8th on the bottom times y to the 16th on the bottom, and the numbers would have just got bigger. So if you can simplify early, that'll be ideal. All right, 13. Okay, what are we thinking? So I'm noticing x's and y's all in the bottom. So we could probably simplify the bottom first. So there's a negative in the bottom, so there's going to be a negative in the denominator. So x squared, x4. So adding the exponents. So this is going to be x to the 6. Y. Negative 4 times 4 will be negative 16. Numerator. So now the 4 can apply to everything, including the negative. So a negative to an even power would just be positive. So the negative is going to go away. X to the 20, because 5 times 4. Y to the negative 8, because negative 2 times 4. Okay, we're going to get, so I'm just going to pull the negative out front. We're going to get x 20 minus 6. Okay, y, we have to be careful here. Negative 8 minus negative 16. So this is going to be negative x to the 14th times y. So this is plus. So it's going to be positive 8. That one's not bad. 14. Okay. Simplifying the numerator, right? All this is being multiplied. So we're going to add the exponents for the y. So this negative can go out front. So negative x to the 5th, y to the negative 4 plus 1. Negative 4 plus 1, negative 3. All over, so the 2 is going to apply to both powers. So x to the 10th, y to the 10th. All right, the negative is going to be out front. And we have x, 5 minus 10, y, negative 3 minus 10. So we're going to get negative x to the negative 5, and then y to the negative 13. And both of those are negative, so they're going to go into the denominator. So we have negative 1 over x5, y13. Okay. Started to run out of room there. All right, the negative in the exponent. So we have a fraction. with the negative exponent. So I'm going to flip the fraction and lose the negative sign. So v 3 u v negative 4. Actually, I'm supposed to be flipping this. So negative u v cubed over v cubed u v negative 4, all to the 5th power. All right, it flipped, and we lose the negative sign. All right, I'm going to combine. So I'm going to work inside, right, because there's u's and v's everywhere. So before I start applying the 5, I'm going to start simplifying the best I can. Now, do we have to? No. You could easily apply this 5 and then start simplifying, but I like to keep the number small. So this is going to be, let's see. All right, so I have a u up top and a u in the bottom. So 1 minus 1. Right, u, 1. Technically, a u in the top, u in the bottom, these are going to cancel. Right, that's another way of doing it. So 1 minus 1, right, is 0. And u to the 0 is 1. So it just cancels. We have v cubed in the top, v cubed in the bottom. Again, we can cancel. I guess we didn't really mention this. I guess we get so hung up on the exponent properties and subtracting, adding common bases in them, all this other language. At the end of the day, you can still simplify by canceling out. So let's not forget that this is still possible to cancel the things out. So what do we have left over inside? We have negative 1 basically on top over v to the negative 4. That's definitely going to come up as positive 4. All to the 5th power. We have negative 1. So now we can apply the 5 to everything inside. So negative 1 to the 5th power. Technically, it's negative 1 to odd power. So it's going to be negative 1. So negative 1 v20. So basically negative v20. That one's fun. That one's fun for sure. Okay. So let's demonstrate in number 16. So let's just demonstrate what I was saying earlier in number 15. So check it out. X to the 0 is just 1. So that's going to go away. 2 to the y cubed and over y to the 4th, 2x to the 4th, y to the 4th. So let's think about what's happening. So y cubed really means y times y times y. So we have 3 y's essentially up top. In the bottom, we're going to have, so this is going to be 4 y's. So these y's could essentially cancel. That's what I was saying earlier. So this is, I guess, a technique, but at the end of the day, we're still going to have to move some things around. So this is going to be, so all the y's basically up top canceled. So this is going to be 2 over, so y times y, well, we're going to add the exponent. So it's really, there's going to be 5 y to the 5th in the bottom. So 2 x to the 4th, y to the 5th. So like the 2's are going to cancel. So we're left with a 1 and a negative 4. Okay. Because it's a negative exponent, we can flip. The 1's going to go down, and the x4 and y to the 5th is going to come up. And we're going to lose the negative sign on the exponent. So this is nice. This is going to be x to the 16th, y to the 20th. That one's good. Now, did we have to do all this cancellation stuff? No, we didn't have to do that either. But, you know, sometimes certain things, certain situations have, I guess, an easier way of solving it or simplifying it just by canceling. Okay. Let's see in the bottom. So look, here in the bottom we have 2. So x to the negative 1 times x over here. So this is going to be negative 1 plus 1 because you're adding the exponents, right? There's a 1 right here. So negative 1 plus 1 is going to be 0. So essentially these x's are going to go away because, again, x to the 0 is 1. Negative 3 plus 1 here is going to be negative 2. So y to the negative 2. Numerator, we have x to the negative 8. So a negative exponent is going to bring the x down. This negative exponent in the denominator is going to bring the y up. So we have y squared over 2, right? There's no change to that, x to the 8th. All right, 18. All right, what jumps out first? The 0. That's going to go away. We can simplify the numerator because, right, there's x's and y's everywhere. So we have y 1, y to the negative 3, y to the 4th. So basically this is going to be 1 minus 3 plus 4. Well, 1 plus negative 3, which is essentially minus 3, and then plus 4. So 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 minus 3 is 2, positive 2. So in the numerator, we're going to have y to the positive 2. And then 2 times 2, 4. Now the x's. 3 plus 2 plus 1, 6. So x to the 6th. And all of that is going to be to the 4th power, which is all over 2x cubed. Okay, we can apply the 4 to all of this. So this is going to be 4 to the 4th, y to the 8th, x to the 24 over 2x cubed. Okay, 4 to the 4th power. That's 4 times 4, which is 16. And then times 4 times 4, which is 16. So 16 times 16, 256. So 256 over, there's a 2 on the bottom. Those are going to cancel eventually. Y to the 8th. And then 24, top minus bottom, 24 minus 3. So 21. So x, 21. Half of 256, 128. So 128, y to the 8th, x to the 21st power. All right, 2 more, and we can call it a day. Or night, rather. All right, what do we got? So first thing I want to do, well, let's see if we can simplify the top part. So this is going to be 2 y1 minus negative 2, right? Y1 minus negative 2. I'm combining these two. And then x cubed minus negative 3. That's going to be in the numerator. And then the denominator 2, I'm going to apply the cube to everything inside. So 2 cubed x, 4 times 3 is 12. Y, negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. All right. So this is going to be 1 plus 2, 3. And then x, 3 plus 3 is 6. All over. 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. X 12 Okay, so y to the negative 6. So here we have, so this is going to cancel. 2 and 8 are going to make 1/4. So we have y 3 minus negative 6. And then x 6 minus 12. Okay. And this is all over 4. Because of the 1/4. So 4 in the denominator. So 3 plus 6 is 9. And then 6 minus 12 is negative 6. So x to the negative 6. So we can go and put that in the bottom as a positive. Okay, the last one. I feel like the last one's always the hardest. Okay, inside the parentheses, let's see if we can simplify this first. What do you want to do? So I guess in the numerator, the 2 and the 2 are going to cancel. This y is going to cancel with one of these y's. So there's just a y up top with the y to the negative 2. Okay, so let's see. So y negative 2 minus, actually plus 1, right? Because we're multiplying common bases, so we can add the exponents. So this negative 2 plus 1. This negative 3 here is going to be x to the negative 3 minus 2. Right? Top minus bottom. Always top minus bottom. And this is all squared, by the way. So we essentially got rid of the denominator. So what do we have? Let's simplify the inside. This is going to be y negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1 times x negative 3 minus 2. So it's going to get even more negative. So negative 5 squared. I'm going to apply the square to everything inside. So this is going to be y to the negative 2, x to the negative 10. And since they're both negative, they'll go to the denominator. So y squared x 10. Okay, that is properties of exponents, 20 problems. Well, I guess in this video it would have been 12 problems. But hopefully we can work out the kinks and it'll be better next time. All right, getting better little by little every day. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you got something out of it. If you haven't already, subscribe, like, hit the notification button so you never miss a video. I'll see you guys in the next one.